Hi, 8th grade. Today we're going to continue in 11.6. This is our third day. So I'm going to take it a little bit quick. You know, you can always pause it or rewatch it if I go too fast. I think you're ready for it though. So we have the same skill. Find each difference. Today we're going to focus on, so in the past 2 days, we've been focusing on mostly addition problems. So today they're going to be mostly subtraction problems, at least that we're working on in our notes. And then your homework, you'll be given both. So you'll want to pay attention to the sign. Here's our first example. 3 over x minus 5x minus 2 over 8x. So we need a common denominator before we can add or subtract. Now, what's missing is an 8. So we'll take 8 over 8, a fraction equal to 1, and we'll multiply it by the fraction, the first one, because that's what it needs. And we'll end up with 24 over 8x minus 5x minus 2 over 8x. Our second fraction hasn't changed yet. When we combine them, right, because now they do have the same denominator, so we can put them all together over one line. 24 minus, we want to keep this grouped together because this is like a -1. So this is going to change each of the signs, right? It's like a -1 that is going to be distributed to anything that's inside the parentheses. So instead of a positive 5x, we have a negative, and instead of a -2, we have a positive. When we combine 24 and positive 2, we get 26 minus 5 over 8x. Can't be simplified, so that one's finished. Let's try another one. 6 over t plus 3 minus 7 over t. No easy fix here. So that means we're going to have to multiply this first fraction by this denominator, and we're going to have to multiply the second fraction by this denominator. Remember, we want them to be equal to 1. Whatever we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top. So when we multiply this out, it looks like 6t over t times t plus 3 minus 7 times t plus 3 over t times t plus 3. Okay? When we distribute, remember it's like a -7 times t, so -7t, and then a -7 times 3, so -21. Then we combine our like terms, so we have a positive 6t and a -7t, so that's a -1. -21 over the common denominator. One more, and then you'll try. Here's one with a trinomial. Y over y minus 3 minus 2 over y squared plus y minus 12. So this is probably going to be one of them, right? It's a clue. And when I'm thinking about 12, the factors of 12, that when I multiply, I get a negative, and when I add, I get a positive. Okay? So if when I add them, they're positive, that means my bigger number needs to be positive. So I'm going to leave, right, just like this. This was my clue. So I'm going to have y plus 4 and y minus 3 as my two binomials. Now I can make a common denominator. So what's missing in this first fraction is the y plus 4. So I'm going to make a fraction equal to 1, so y plus 4 over y plus 4. This one, the second fraction, I leave alone. So I'm going to distribute, right, y times, I didn't center the bottom, but y times y plus 4 is our first, minus 2, which is our second, all over our common denominator. And when I distribute that y on the outside, I get y squared plus 4y minus 2. And this cannot be factored, right? We can't multiply and get a -2 and add and get a positive 4, right? Because you can't have a bigger number here. So How about you try one? X over x minus 3 minus 3 over x plus 2. Go ahead and pause it and give this a try. This one is similar to, not this one, the one on the front of the page that we did, where both of them are going to have to be multiplied. Our first fraction needs an x plus 2, and our second fraction needs an x minus 3. And if you're careful, when you distribute that negative, it changes to a positive at the end. So we end up with x squared minus x plus 9 over x minus 3, x plus 2. And again, I know this can't be simplified because the only thing when multiplied is 9 and 1, 9 times 1, which doesn't equal a negative 1, and 3 times 3, which also can't be added or subtracted to equal a negative 1. Sorry, I didn't mean to be hanging off the page there. Okay, so this should be what your final answer is. For homework tonight, please print the worksheet if you can. If not, you'll have to copy the problems. Be sure to send me a picture of your notes and your homework. Let me know if you have any questions. Tomorrow you'll be quizzing on lessons 5 and 6.